Hi everyone, I'm Ludo, and welcome to all the newcomers on my RenovHome channel. Sorry there was no video last week. I simply didn't have enough time to finish the editing before the weekend. Today we're back up here, on the top floor of this part of the house, and I'm finally getting close to the last floor structure that still needs rebuilding. Victory is getting closer. Well, let's call it a small victory for now. As I've explained several times before, I'm trying to preserve as many of the original round timber beams as possible. I reinforce them where I feel it's necessary and install rafters that will support the future OSB flooring, which will form the first layer of the new floor structure. In the previous episode, I treated the beams with wood preservative while installing the rafters. Before covering everything with OSB, I'm now drilling holes and inserting special injection plugs designed for timber treatment. This will allow me to treat the beams deep inside and give me peace of mind for years to come. I drill each hole using the appropriate wood bit, with a piece of tape as a depth marker. Then I gently tap the injection plug into place using a small hammer and a plastic adapter to avoid damaging it. Using a spray gun fitted with a suitable nozzle, I then inject a generous amount of treatment product into each plug. Placing all the plugs on this side makes the treatment slightly less effective than it could be. Ideally, they would be distributed more evenly around the circumference of the beam, rather than aligned in a straight line like this. However, the big advantage for me is that the plugs will be completely invisible from the room below, allowing me to keep these beams exposed as much as possible. Once that's done, it's time to bring another batch of OSB sheets upstairs. I'm taking advantage of the large opening in the floor to avoid carrying them up yet another staircase. All I need is this chair to grab them fairly easily from the level below. As always, the process remains the same, a bead of adhesive in the tongue and groove joints, and of course the rafters were spaced specifically so that the short ends of the OSB sheets always land on a rafter. Some people like to install a resilient strip between the panels and the rafters. Personally, with the close spacing of the rafters, proper screwing, and glued joints, I feel comfortable skipping that step. But it's my house, and everyone is free to do things their own way. I'm now running out of OSB on site, so I'll need to bring more up next weekend. Let's move on to the second section of this floor. You may have noticed that I didn't install any rafters here. Why? Well, I have an idea. Over on the left, you can see the stair opening I created in previous episodes. And over there is the doorway to what will eventually become the bathroom for the master bedroom. As you can see, the bathroom entrance sits higher than the floor level. My plan is to create an intermediate platform where the bed will be located, positioned between two flights of stairs leading up to the bathroom entrance. And down here, you can see the load-bearing partition wall where the row of wooden cupboards used to stand, before I removed them back in episode 18. I begin by building what is essentially a self-supporting platform. I clear a bit of space before extending the structure towards the partition wall, including the beam that used to sit on top of the brick partition I demolished earlier. Since I plan to rebuild the stone wall up to the future platform level, I removed the mortar cap that had previously been applied to the top of the wall. Next, I install the final beam after removing some mortar that was preventing it from sitting level with the others. Since I no longer have a piece long enough, I make a scarfed cut to extend it. I then double the height of the beams across the entire area that will support the bed platform, and use scraps of OSB to tie everything together quickly and effectively. To make the floor even stiffer, I add steel brackets at both ends of the central beam. Well, the lower hole isn't exactly pretty, but it's anchored solidly into the stone, and there's another fixing point just above it. I still take a few moments to stop, enjoy the sunshine, and admire the view. After that, I install the rafters, using exactly the same method as on the other floors. The previous weekend, I completely ran out of OSB sheets, so it's time to unload this trailer. You already know the technique for getting the panels upstairs, so let's get to it. I also give the newly installed timber another quick insecticide treatment to further protect it. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to build the final steps leading up to the future upstairs bathroom. For now, I'm planning to stack offcuts of timber beams. The dimensions work out quite nicely and should give me the correct step heights. A few more OSB sheets later, and everything starts coming together. And there we go. It's looking pretty good. I still need to rebuild the partition wall up to the level of the OSB floor, which will give the bed platform a little more depth. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed following this stage of the renovation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next part of the project. This was Ludo. See you next time.